here on CBS Sports. That's Bud Elliott. That's Tom Fornelli. I'm Chip Patterson, coming to you live at youtube.com/cover3 and everywhere you get your podcasts on demand. Thanks for hanging out. Smash that subscribe, smash that like, and come and join us in the chat, a.k.a. the Cover 3 Tailgate, where they're asking for Danny Kanell. Oh, boys. Sorry about that.
I got bad news for you.
Got bad news for you. Hey, but we do have Bud Elliott.
Enough.
What? We do have Bud Elliott. What'd you say, Bud?
He's up.
He's awake.
He's at dinner. He's at Madison Social. I got him into the table, and I was like, guys, I actually got to go set up for this.
Well, listen.
It's Danny and B-Max sitting next to each other at the table. So, like, maybe if we text Noah can stream from his phone, and we'll have the DJ is done. So
Hold on.
Noah's across.
You're telling me that Noah. You're telling me that Noah wanted to get into the stadium early, but he's not going to stay up late. Get Noah on the show, okay? Get Noah. Anyway, listen, we'll take that personal business to the side. That'll be an offline chat. We got too much stuff to get to. Cover 3 Tailgate wants to hear not just about Florida State. What about the Alabama of it all? What about the LSU of it all? What about the Clemson losing at home again of it all? Lots to get to here as we go through week one. We, of course, are going to be getting through all of the biggest results from Saturday. We are going to be getting through the biggest results from Thursday, the biggest results from Friday, and oh, so much more. Mary Mac gets a shout out as well as
damn straight
as one does. So top 25 today, all of the good pieces from Saturday night. But, Bud, you were there in the stadium. I mean, I don't want to waste anyone else's time. Don't let us get to minute 4 before we go to our boots on the ground reports. What was it like rushing the field? Just take us through everything from Tallahassee.
It just, after a 2-10 season, like, this is a game they had to have. This program has been in hell, honestly, like since the snub. And to get, kind of revenge for that against the team that got put in over you, in my opinion, unjustifiably so, back in 2023, to do it, to lose the turnover battle, to lose the special teams battle and go out and whip them and win by 2 scores. That was just cathartic. Like, everybody in that stadium, they needed that, man. From pulling it off to, we had a little bit of rain there in the second quarter and then sunshine.
Rainbow.
Yeah, that was sweet, man. Like, incredible. I was sitting there watching the first drive. It's like, all right, they're getting movement, and we thought they probably would, but all the passes they were calling for Simpson were real safe stuff. It's like, all right, so like some boots, little half roll waggle, a screen, not a lot of drop back stuff. And so I was like, okay, you know what? Like, it's like a 15-play drive to open, and it was effective. They scored a touchdown, but thought, okay. It didn't look easy, right? Like, they did it. They had to convert a lot of third downs. And, we knew this offense had been scoring on FSU's defense in practice. So in the back of my mind, it was like, all right, if it was hard for them, maybe FSU can score on Bama, right? Like, maybe this Bama offense is not amazing. And the question became, like, what would happen if FSU decided to come up and take away the run, by adding that guy to the box? Could Simpson throw them out of it? And ultimately, when you look at the box score tonight, they're credited with, I think, 5 PBUs. It damn sure felt like a lot more. There were times when Bama had a guy open and FSU closed distance, which is to FSU's credit, clearly. Like, they were able to confuse Simpson enough. But also, I thought Simpson, I think a lot of this stuff, like, we had heard he looked good in practice. We knew that Bama did not pursue anybody in the transfer portal. Like, you read the market factors. Okay, they must really like this kid. Guys, he was late on a lot of stuff, right? He probably could have made Florida State pay a little bit more. But ultimately, they were able to confuse him, make him a half count late, get those PBUs. They never converted into a turnover. And I thought, importantly, Florida State matched physicality early. They made them earn on that first drive. They were hitting. And then basically, like we talked about on the show, you got to throw the sucker punch early. And I thought they'd have to hold on for dear life. And they didn't really have, they got a little squirrely there after they dropped the punt. But they outplayed them. I thought they outcoached them as well. Total credit to that staff. Really nice job. And in a year in which we don't think the portal quarterbacks, except for maybe the top 2, were amazing, what a fit Castellanos is for that offense, man. He looks so clean. It looked not effortless, but just control, confident. Like, how many times did he truly put the ball at risk? 0? Like,
well,
maybe,
I mean, 14 pass attempts. So,
well, right, yeah. And I thought, like, on a wet field with kind of slick conditions, all the fakes they're doing, all the ball handling, it was clean. It just looked like a professional effort from an older guy. And he understood he had to run, and he did. I mean, 78 rush yards, got evaded pressure, was very good as far as his decision-making, I thought. And, like, I was worried. What if we get the Castellanos we saw for BC last year against Virginia? Like, where he just YOLO ball. Like, there was none of that. 14 pass attempts. I mean, dude, if you had told me that, I'd say he either got hurt or FSU smoked him.
Tommy told us months ago. Came out, and he said they don't have Saban to save them from me. And the haters and the idiots out there, they made fun of him for it. They said Florida State didn't have the bodies to compete with Alabama. And then Tommy went out and shoved it down their throat. That was a very eye-opening performance for me. I think for both teams, both for my estimation of what Florida State could be and then what I think Alabama was supposed to be. And I try not to take away huge overreactions to the first game of the season, just because so many weird things tend to happen in the first game when you haven't seen live action yet. But I don't think there was really anything about that was fluky. I think Florida State showed up, punched them in the mouth. I thought the offensive line was very good against what I still think is a good defensive line. I thought their defensive front won most of their battles against Alabama's offensive line, and I thought Alabama's offensive line was going to be pretty good, and I still think it probably will be. And then I think the final takeaway, honestly, is that Mike Norvell needs tiny little jitterbug quarterbacks. Do not get him the large tanks, all right? When he has the tiny little jitterbug, the Jordan Travises and the Tommy Castellanoses, this is a team that can make some noise. And also another takeaway, Gus Malzahn still knows how to put together a run game, man. He still knows how to tear you apart with that, especially when he sees that Crimson on the other side. He knows how to rip them to shreds.
Yeah, Gus was in his bag. That was so much fun. He's tweeting after the game about how it felt like old times, ripping up an Alabama defense. I mean, just like phenomenal stuff.
Was he at the Waffle House when he tweeted that? I hope he was.
Oh,
I
man.
hope so.
God,
too.
I hope so.
All right. So, but this was a burning question I've been honestly very excited to ask you probably since, I don't know, midway through the second quarter. Do you think that the personnel changes, of which there were some, or the Tony White hire is more responsible for how this defense played? Because I know that we have talked a lot about last year, the defense did not play to the talent level. And we had a lot of individuals that we could point out. Some of them play for other teams right now. But how do you assign the defensive improvement? Because without a doubt, like just what you said, yeah, they had to earn it, but it was Alabama. I think of their 75 yards, over 50 of them were on the ground. And we were like, oh, okay, here's the game plan. Which side little narrative that I wrote about for a little bit. How funny is it that Alabama did the Florida State top 10 team, great first drive, then totally crap your pants the rest of the way? That was exactly what Florida State did 1 year ago against Georgia Tech in Dublin in their season opener. But on the Florida State defensive side, how do you assign the credit there in terms of what has changed from one season to the next?
So, like, look, Florida State's got one guy on defensive line that really looks like, what we think like a peak Alabama D lineman would look like, and that's Darrell Jackson. And he did not have the numbers tonight, but early on, I thought it set the tone really well. Juice Cryer, like a total missile into the backfield. Jackson's up there eating a double team, like just standing those Bama guys up. He came back to school for a reason, because he didn't want to go, in the fourth round. He wanted to go, in the first round, and they had to have him eat blocks tonight, and he did that. That was really, really big. I think, to your point, Chip, is this defense way more talented than it was last year? I don't think so. I think they play as a team more. I think they care more, and you had to flush some of the quitting that was on last year's defense. You saw guys jogging. Tom pointed out on the show very accurately early last year. The hustle and the physicality was not there. They would catch blocks, and look, effort, intensity, like attention to detail. That kind of stuff matters. Now, I thought ultimately, considering the athleticism of Alabama, I thought Florida State tackled them fairly well, especially with all the short stuff. that they threw. And Tony White is a damn good defensive coach. I think he probably saw a lot of info on that opening drive. Yeah, he gave up a touchdown, but why are these the passes they're calling? Are we sure? Let's creep those safeties up 2-3 yards. And they weren't putting 10 in the box or anything like that, but they would trigger downhill pretty fast. And it almost bit them a couple times. Like Bama in the third quarter went to a lot more pistol looks to get that kind of more like downhill, play action look. And they had a couple of open shots, but Simpson was not able to hit those, not consistently. I thought, Florida State hit and they played hard and just they didn't have these massive coverage busts like you saw last year. And you had to get rid of something that was on that team last year, attitude wise, and they played like something to be proud of. They also like if you watch like James Williams, came out pretty fired up. The DN they got from Nebraska, he lost contained like 3 times on the opening drive. They benched him for a series. Just kind of sat him down, got him refreshed, came back in.
Wow, accountability. Isn't that strange?
Yeah, exactly. And third quarter, he comes back in. He gets a whole lot of pressure. I'm sure Caden Proctor is going to be a good NFL player. First quarter, Caden got him. Third quarter, Williams got Caden.
Okay, so all right, we get a little bit more time to celebrate FSU. Then now we got to talk about the Alabama part of this because while the tailgates,
how fun is Malzahn with Micah Danzy?
Oh yeah, that speedy little 19.
He just got the big Adidas deal. Like, if you guys don't know, like Danzy is, I don't know if he's not a complete player, but Malzahn does like.
All right.
Yes.
Special guest appearance, Daniel Kanell.
Hold on. We get a copyright flag for this?
Yeah, we'll get us copyright flag.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh my God.
Say how's it coming, three boys? What's up? Yeah.
That's Bryant McFadden. We're seeing all the talent that shut down their pregame show 10 minutes early so they could get into the stadium, watch the team come out.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Barely. We're worried about getting DMCA'd here.
Danny, turn the phone.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Turn the phone, Danny.
Oh my gosh. Oh, turn the phone. There we go.
There we go.
Oh my goodness. What a night.
How we feeling?
What? 12-0. We're going 12-0. That's all you can say. What a night. So, I don't know if you guys know this. B-Mac, who was just right there, as I ran out of the bar so you guys could hear me. B-Mac gave the team, so they do this thing called a legacy walk where they have all former players like come back, and you can say something if you want to. And he talked to the team, and he said, when we win, we got to make sure we handle it with class. And, everybody probably took it with a grain of salt. After the game, Mike Norvell called up B-Mac, and he gave him like another speech. Like after Tommy Castellanos, like hit the rock and shut it down. It's unbelievable. It was insane. B-Mac, I'm giving B-Mac credit for this win because the pregame pep talk that he gave him.
He's been preaching all day, DK. No, but he's been preaching all day. Yeah. Like that's like this is an inspired season for Bryant McFadden, like all season long. I mean, you two are going to cook Damian Harris every single Saturday from 9 to 12 over this.
He may not come back. Like I don't know if B-Mac's or I don't know if Damian's going to be in the studio next week. He may not. But it was, I'll tell this, and Bud was there. It was one of the best game day atmospheres I've been a part of. And I've never got to storm any field whatsoever. And we didn't have to really storm the field because we had sideline passes. So we were like right there. And it was like, now I get it. So I give people a hard time for storming the field sometimes. It was insane. I have my 2 daughters with me. I lost one of them for about 15 minutes. My wife is like, where are they? I mean, it was getting scary. Mackenzie was babysitting Brady. Thankfully, it wasn't Brady, but Dylan was like getting guys' numbers and stuff. I mean, there's some football player like grabbed her phone and was filming it for her. And so now she's like tracking him down. Oh my goodness. but it was amazing. It was insane. I'm there like I made sure I had to get him back in check. We found her thankfully in about 15 minutes. Thank goodness.
Wait,
But
15 minutes ago or after 15 minutes?
No. 15 minutes just for 15 total minutes. That was it. 15 total minutes. That was it. Thank goodness. We'd have big problems. That was the case.
Okay. Outside of BMAC, who's the MVP for you? Like, let's give out some DK awards for Florida State here.
I mean, this is one of those ones where the whole team gets a game ball. I mean, like the defense after giving up that game opening drive, and everybody there was like, uh-oh, here we go again. Alabama marched the length of the field, was grinding them on the ground. We talked to Darrell Jackson after the game, one of the big defensive linemen. He said they weren't discouraged. They came back in and they said, hey, we just got to play better. They didn't get defeated. And then we talked to Tommy Castellanos after the game, too. He came and crashed the set, so we had to kick Damian Harris off the set. And then he just went straight home. Damian Harris got in his car and just went home after that. But I tell you what, Tommy Castellanos, I was blown away with how comfortable he was in the system. Like, he looked like he had been playing in the system for 3 or 4 years. The timing of the ball handling, the rhythm of the offense, the ability to get the ball out, know where to go with the ball. I thought he played outstanding. I mean, this program has lacked a difference maker since Jordan Travis got hurt, and he stepped in and he was the difference maker.
All right. There's some calls on the tailgate for you to get a tattoo tonight. So I'm going to do like a cross-game reference here. I don't know how much time you spent on Twitter. Will you get a nipple piercing tonight? Because that would be the full connection of college football stuff.
Did you guys see Bert Kreischer on the pregame show, The Machine?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he had his shirt off. We have been texting, and he's trying to meet up for like a post-game shot or 2 or 6. So there's a possibility.
Do not lose your daughters for 15 minutes with Bert Kreischer around. That is the only thing I'm going to say right now.
They are safe in the hotel. They're tucked away. They had their curfew already. So yeah, but I'm not that far behind them. I'm getting old. Although they did ID me at every bar we've been in, so I actually feel kind of good. I feel young. Yeah.
It's all those trendy clothes. That's what it is.
That must be it. Oh my goodness. What a night though. It was incredible.
Man,
it was awesome.
Super happy for y'all. I appreciate you jumping in, DK.
Of course.
Go take care of all those young kids inside. Make sure they get home too.
Much better breakdown to come on Monday. I just had to give you guys a little flavor.
Go have one for me.
Yeah,
all right.
Have one for me too.
See you, boys.
See you,
Have a good
margarita time.
Yeah. It was so packed. I was like, that's the CBS crew. And like, that's great. That's literally the fire marshal right there. We have got to get people out before we get people in. It was like, guys, it's fire. Like I did my job. Like they got the bands here. Like it's fire marshal.
Okay. Yeah. I couldn't let Danny just all of a sudden start teeing off on the SEC, but now it's time to tee off on Alabama before we do this. Yikes.
It's not great. I mean, what the record's 5-5 now in the last 10 games?
How about as many losses as a double-digit favorite in 14 games under Kalen DeBoer as the entire Nick Saban era?
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy in the state of Florida who's really happy to see this stat down in Coral Gables.
Oh, yes.
Because for a long time they were blowing games as a double-digit favorite.
I mean, this is the fastest flip, like a single result where one coach goes from, man, I don't know what's going to happen, to all of a sudden, look, he's pushing all the right buttons. And another coach who, granted, like entered with a little bit of real job pressure to, I don't know if you saw the conversation, Tom, but Alabama coaching candidates posts from when Nick Saban retired are starting to get hits on the system. Kalen DeBoer buyout is a trending topic.
63 million, I believe.
So that's why we can't do that conversation. So now we just got to say what's going wrong, what can be fixed. And also, like, we're going to get to LSU Clemson here in just a little bit, but I think to your point, Tom, earlier, we have to reassess Alabama here.
Yeah. I think if you're Alabama, obviously this is, you're down bad because put it this way. If an ACC team goes on the road to start the season and loses to an SEC team that went 2-10 last year, it's a very different conversation. But in this situation, you lost to Florida State. So it's not like you lost to a bad program. You went on the road, played a team that is a lot better than we thought it was going to be, and lost. But the good news is it's not an SEC game. So you can still rebound. You could still regroup and get your crap together before conference play starts. So you're still in the hunt there. The playoff is still an attainable goal. The problem is, based on what we saw last year with the loss to Oklahoma, the loss to Vanderbilt, and then now you're losing this game as a double-digit favorite, it's hard to really trust Alabama is going to be able to do the job that it needs to do from this point on forward to get there and to be in contention for an SEC title, to be in contention for a playoff spot. And your margin for error is now significantly lower because you've got one loss. And, we know for a fact after last year, when you got 3, it's much harder to get in. So I'm not too worried. I do have concerns about the quarterback. Like, maybe that was just first game kind of jitters for him on the road in a really loud stadium that's really happy and excited that they no longer have tarps over half the seats because they were finally able to get the renovations done. And, he struggled in it. Ryan Williams, Kalen said he was taken out with a concussion late in the game, but he had like some kinesiology tape on the back of his left leg the entire time. So I was wondering if he was dealing with something the entire game. Maybe he had like a hammy issue. He did not seem right. If he's not healthy, that hurts them. It was a bad game. It was the first game of the season. It doesn't kill their season, but it sure does not give you a full cup of confidence going the rest of the way.
It really makes you wonder. And I think Florida State's obviously playing good team defense, and they played with great physicality. But it does make you wonder, what was Alabama seeing in practice out of Ty Simpson? And does that match up with what you saw on the field today? Because if that's what they were seeing, holy cow! That he's late on a lot of stuff. He doesn't I think he's kind of seeing ghosts. I don't think the pocket presence was awful. Like he actually did a decent job with the legs, and he wasn't insanely inaccurate with throws. He was just late on a lot of stuff. And we have not seen the year 1 to year jump out of Alabama that I think a lot of us, myself included, expected to see from a Kalen DeBoer team at Alabama. They don't look much better than they were last year. So do you go to Keelan Russell? I think I probably would, to be honest. I think that kid's a stud, but I understand why they wouldn't start a kid who just turned 18 years old on the road in Tallahassee. That's a pretty big ask, even for against a team that went 2-10 last year. I think also, do they have the right defensive coach? This looked a little bit like the Vandy game not in terms of possessing the football, but consistently they're outnumbered at the point of attack. They're losing edge contain, especially in the run game. They're just Malzahn formation those dudes to death, and they consistently set up great angles for their secondary blockers. Your tight ends, your receivers come down in those cracks over and over again. It looked a little bit different stuff, but same issues for that Alabama defense, especially on the edge. So they'll have to take a look at that. They may end up being really good. I'd be shocked if they suck. But how much better can they get with Simpson there? Do they have systemic issues? It didn't look. Do they look better to you guys this year than they did last year? I don't think so.
No. And they're still undisciplined in a lot of ways too. Yeah. They make a lot of mistakes. Just I don't mean with personal fouls and stuff. I just mean missed assignments that you just aren't used to seeing Alabama make, especially on defense.
Tim Keenan was missed.
Yeah,
for sure. It was a nose guard who might be a first round NFL draft pick, and when you were before you set up the 32-yard reverse that went for a touchdown, it was run up the middle, run up the middle, run up the middle. You're just feasting on the middle of that line. It should be Alabama. If we're going to talk about Alabama, then you should at least be able to have someone to replace him that is not so devastating. Yeah. But I think that they would have been a little bit better with him. To Tom's point, I just don't think that they were. Now, there were a lot of college football teams who showed up, and I'm really trying to get better about being able to describe this without just trashing kids or being sloppy about this. But I think I can say they did not bring the proper preparation to come and compete today, and Florida State did. And some of that happens in these situations when you're going on the road. But I think that's the job of a coach and a coaching staff to do as best you can to try to get them ready to go. And Alabama did not look fast. Alabama did not look strong. Those are the things that make you say, those are the things that have the tailgate right now saying the dynasty is dead. Like this, like, let's move on. This is Alabama is they are an SEC team. SEC teams have NFL draft picks every single year, but not every SEC team is an SEC championship contender. And maybe Alabama is just an SEC team with a lot of NFL draft picks, and they're just not razor sharp enough to be able to really go and do this thing. They could turn this around. Like, and to your point, look, remember when they bounced back and they throttled LSU and they throttled Missouri, and you're like, wow, okay, maybe Alabama's got this thing going. And then they went and they had another loss as a top 10 team. It's just like they did against Vanderbilt, and they did it again against Oklahoma. So I just can't trust. Alabama is untrustworthy the rest of the way. They've got enough talent to probably beat anybody in the country, but with what we've seen in the last 14 games, I don't think that they are trustworthy.
The preparation edge for Florida State's offense against Alabama's defense. I mean, think about this. Florida State got very little done in spring because Pettis was hurt, right? The two guards were hurt. The left tackle from Vanderbilt was hurt. They're like, well, shoot, like fall is going to be kind of like spring, guys, because 4 of your starting 5 offensive linemen are missing large chunks of spring. There were times tonight where all 11 Florida State players were transfers, like first time to the program transfers. Bama brought almost everybody back, didn't take, any defensive transfers. Second year in the system, who looked more prepared? Like that was surprising to me.
All right, we will, as Danny mentioned, we'll have a lot more on this game. It is near and dear to our hearts. It is massively significant, but it is far, far, far from the only significant and interesting result that we have here on week 1. So coming up on the other side, the number 1 team in the country lost. We should probably talk about it and more next.
Name's Conrad Harrigan, family man. And if you cross my family, well, you'd better pray.
Mobland, new series streaming March 30th on Paramount Plus.
Here on the Cover 3 podcast, as we continue our look from around week 1 in college football, where, as I mentioned, the number 1 team on the country went on the road into the shoe and came up short. 14-7 is your final as Ohio State takes down the Texas Longhorns. There is a lot of disappointment around Arch Manning's debut as the Texas Longhorns full-time starter. There is a lot of excitement about the way that this Buckeyes defense played with a lot of new faces and a new defensive coordinator in Matt Patricia. Tom, I'll let you get first word here. What were some of your biggest takeaways?
My biggest takeaways were Arch Manning was far from the only problem on the Texas offense. Arch Manning did not play well, so I'm not making excuses for him. He missed throws. He missed open guys. He started pressing. He stood in the pocket too long. He stared down receivers. He did all the kinds of things you would expect an inexperienced quarterback to do in the road in a tough environment. But he didn't get a whole hell of a lot of help either from his coaching staff, from his running backs, from his wide receivers, from his offensive line. It was a piss poor effort from Texas for the most part for 60 minutes. They did not look like a number 1 team in the country to me. They looked like a team with a lot of questions, and a lot of them remain because they sure as hell weren't answered today. And Chip, we were on the post game together on HQ. My MVP of the game is Matt Patricia, because I was watching this game, and I mean, there was a lot of attention paid to Jim Knowles leaving because he's Jim Knowles. He won a national title at Ohio State, and then he leaves and goes to a conference rival in Penn State. But it's not like Matt Patricia is some no-name replacing him. And while like last year, Wink Martindale came from the NFL and took over Michigan's defense, and it felt like it took him about a month or so to really kind of get his feet and his bearings as far as what it takes to win on the college level. Matt Patricia seemed to know right away what the hell he was doing with Ohio State's defense, even with a lot of new faces, because Texas had no idea what Ohio State was doing before the snap. They were disguising everything. They were waiting until after the snap before declaring. They were bringing pressure from different places. They were bringing different blitzes. They were faking blitzes. They were doing all sorts of stuff to completely confuse the hell out of Arch Manning, and it worked. And also, it felt like at times they knew every single route that Texas's receivers were running. Either that or Texas's receivers are terrible, because Ohio State's defensive backs were on them like Velcro. There was very little separation. It was just an absolutely clinical performance from the Ohio State defense, so much so that Ohio State's offense had 203 total yards, scored only 14 points, and still beat the number one team in the country. So, I mean, it's just an absolute masterclass by Matt Patricia. Pure and simple.
I don't see it totally differently. I see it a little bit differently. I thought basically Ohio State dared Texas to execute. Like, there were some open guys. Sark did scheme some guys open. He didn't scheme a ton of guys just WTFO, down the field. Like, there were not a lot of massive busts by Ohio State over the top. They were going to make them earn it. They were going to let Texas run the ball a little bit if Texas could commit to the run and do so when they were -1 in the box. This is, I don't know how ESPN grades this, right? I'm sure other services have different numbers, but according to ESPN, I saw the stat on SportsCenter after the game. 37% off target rate for Arch Manning is the worst number for a Texas starting quarterback in the last 10 years. That was rough. He has got to be better. I thought he was a little bit jittery in the pocket. I thought at times Texas offensive line held up, and he's vacating the pocket too early. That was a little bit concerning to me, because I don't know if that's something that is going to get fixed immediately. And you probably will not play a better back seven than Ohio State in the SEC, but you will play better fronts than Ohio State, in my opinion, in the SEC. So if he's kind of jittery when there's not a ton of pressure around him, that could be an issue for Ohio State going forward.
He didn't play well.
Sorry, for Texas going forward. Excuse me.
I mean, that's like that.
Yeah.
So I was driving back from the office to the hotel, and it was, I had the national sports radio, and it's going to be really toxic. We're sitting here on Saturday night. I'm just telling you, Monday, it's going to be rough. Because here was the line of thinking. It was like, I don't. My dad used to tell me to eat my vegetables. I didn't want to eat my vegetables, okay? Because I don't want to be force fed. And I've been force fed Arch Manning, and I was sold a bad bill of goods because that was terrible. He's not that good. I mean, it's just this kid is going to get buried, and I know he has talent. I know he has tools, and I believe that he did not play close. Potentially anywhere close to his full potential. And it happened on a huge stage with everybody watching. He will have better games, but it is, and to Arch's credit, post-game press conference, he said, it starts with me. He said, we didn't show up. We didn't make the plays. I hate that this happened. You don't want to be 0-1. We can get better. It starts with me. I wasn't great.
The irony is, I'm sorry, I didn't know. I thought you were finished. Go ahead.
I mean, I wanted to prepare as we get to talk Saturday night before anybody else gets to talk, and as a lot of people listen to us. I mean, we've got a great audience right now. Appreciate everybody in the tailgate hanging out. A lot of people listen to us on Sunday mornings. I just wanted to at least prepare. I know it's so strange. I wanted to offer something measured, but I just wanted to prepare everyone that all of your surface level, I don't watch college football, I don't talk about college football, like Arch pooping his pants on this stage is going to break contain, as they say. Mm-hmm. And I'm not excited about that. That is not my favorite storyline coming out of the weekend.
No, and the irony is all the people who were yelling at you, not you, but just people that were yelling about how Arch Manning is overrated because of his name, now we're going to tell you he sucks after one game in which he was playing on the road against the defending national champs in the first game of the season. It's like
against a defense that might be the best defense in the country.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's not a finished product. He's clearly not. Neither was Julian Sayin, who, his numbers were worse than I think than they actually were because of the drops that they had, particularly early in the game. I mean, Max Clare had a terrible drop along the sidelines on a ball that hit him right in the hands. But in Max Clare's defense, I don't think he's been hit in the hands by a pass in 3 years. He was playing at Purdue, folks. All right, cut him some damn slack. Jeremiah Smith dropped a couple of passes, had to change his gloves. But what I really was impressed by was just the way that the ball does come out of his hands. Like, there's a lot of zip on those throws, pretty spirals. Just got to learn to catch them a little bit better. And I was concerned. Ohio State's offensive line, to me, did not look great. I was impressed by Texas's defensive line, especially on the interior, where my bigger questions were for them. It looks like Texas may have done it for the third straight year at the tackle position. So kudos to them. Kudos to them for finding those guys, bringing them in and getting them ready. But the run game struggled. The receivers were dropping things. It was not a pretty performance for the Ohio State offense, but they did enough, or just enough, to get the job done.
What happened to what's up with the sidearm?
I don't know.
With Arches?
Yeah, like
it's a lot of shoulder thing,
like Jake Plummer style sidearm stuff going on here.
Yeah, some of that.
A little, yeah. I'm not saying he's hurt. I have no idea. I don't want to start that. But when you watch that, what does your brain think? Like something looks weird here.
Yeah, I do not want to try to cosplay as a throwing mechanics expert. So I'm gonna let y'all I'm gonna let the athletes and the scout take the lead on that one. But I'm not sure if I've got an explanation for it.
I will say, like, for all the problems that Texas had, it was good to see that they're still just as good in the red zone.
As in not good, for those who haven't put two and two together. Yeah, the continuing trend, as Tom, as you and I were talking about on CBS Sports HQ after the game, all of Texas's red zone issues do not appear to be fixed whatsoever. Mm-hmm. And did you look at any tape of what happens when teams try to just run up the middle on Ohio State's defense? Just because they've got 8 new starters doesn't mean that they are not still totally committed to being able to stuff you. Because for all of the things that did not look good, Texas had a chance to tie this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they played like crap, and they had a chance to tie it in the last minutes of the fourth quarter.
But I'll throw this one at you. I know I kind of mentioned it earlier to Tom. Do you think Texas has the wide receivers to having a passing game that scares people?
I think they have receivers who scare a lot of teams. I don't know.
Not every team.
Yeah. Like, do you feel good about this receiver group if you had to go in the playoffs? I don't.
Not after what I saw today.
I don't think so. No. I mean, look at the target share here. I mean, Parker Livingston is 4 targets. DeAndre Moore had 6 yards on 4 targets, 2 catches. I mean,
CJ Baxter and Jack Andrews are your leading receivers in terms of actually completions. I mean, that's checkdowns, baby.
That's some Iowa ass offense right there.
Oh, or do you know what I said? I said it was like Penn State last year.
Yeah.
Which means you could be destined for a Penn State 2024 type scenario. You can be awesome, but there is a ceiling, and that ceiling is not hoisting a trophy on the final Monday night of the season. So, look, we know Ryan Wingo's fast. DeAndre Moore has flashed. I thought Parker Livingstone made a great play to be able to pull in that touchdown pass. It was a good catch. So, maybe there's something there that that can continue to develop. But if we want to look at areas where Texas can improve to win a national championship, which is not an unfair standard for me to hold to the number 1 team in the country, then there's some growth. And the good news is in the playoff, you've got time for that. But yeah, this is not a team that's ready to go win it all right now. Not many teams in the country looked like they were ready to win it all right now, but Texas certainly has room to grow.
They still could, but we can definitively say like Texas is nowhere close to Death Star status, which I do think there was a chance. Like if Arch just came out and just lights out, shoot, okay, so Texas has the best defense in the country, and then now Arch Manning's everything like that he was supposed to be. Good night. It'll be a fun season, but everybody else might be playing for second. That's not the case right now. Like, this national title race looks wide open.
100%. All right, let's anything else here before we keep it moving?
I think, like, despite the pedestrian numbers, I thought Sayan was fine.
Yeah. He was the bus driver in the best way.
Yeah, I thought he
was on time.
Man, I would be encouraged.
Yeah.
Like, is Claire and Jeremiah gonna have those drops repeatedly? I kind of doubt it.
And Carnell Tate's insane, like underthrown ball on the 40-yard touchdown catch, and Carnell Tate bails you out, because how nice is it that Carnell Tate is the other receiver right there? Yeah.
Is Ryan Day grateful for Arch Manning's struggle, so nobody's asking him about the nipple piercing?
Jeez.
I mean,
Do we have the picture?
I don't know if we have the picture ready, but if you saw the picture, it certainly looks like it.
Hey, man, you win a national title.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It was like, I didn't see that coming.
That's where my mind went, is at some point that man must have said, if we win it all, ...
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Like
what I want to find out.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Like, that was a couple beers with Jack Sawyer one night, and it turned into that. Coach, if we win it, will you do this? And
Some folks in the tailgaters think this was Photoshop.
I don't think it was Photoshopped. It was taken
Not
off
the
of
first-
a television. The photo I saw.
Not the first shot. My biggest question is that I could not tell if the other one was also pierced, because I would think double nipple piercing is less strange than single nipple piercing. I would want nipple symmetry.
Sam's comment in the chat: TSA is going to be tricky.
I like the one that
I love our fans.
He had Orion's belt at his chest plate.
Yeah, no, I had it as, so hey, remember Rick Pitino's championship tattoo?
Yeah.
After Louisville won it in 2013. Yeah, Rick Pitino has a huge Louisville tattoo on his like back shoulder.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and it was the same thing. If we win it all, I'll get a tattoo. And the whole team was like, okay, coach, cut down the nets. I mean, Louisville took down the damn banner because of NCAA issues, but Rick Pitino can't take off that tattoo.
He's still got Thug Life and Old English across his stomach.
Yeah, we will continue to monitor the situation as it pertains to Ryan Day and body piercings. Coming up on the other side, we turn our attention to listen, if Alabama is going to leave the chat in terms of SEC title contenders, I've got a new one that I'd like to nominate. We'll get into LSU's big win and more next.
The crowd loves champions. Gladiator 2 is an epic spectacle. To amuse you is my only wish.
The glory is yours, not mine.
Very good. Gladiator 2, rated R, now streaming on Paramount+.
On the Cover 3 podcast, we're doing the best we can. It's been a really, really big day. We've talked about 2 games and we're 45 minutes into this thing. Yeah, but
we're a down the board podcast as far as like love talking like the second, third games. A lot of shows don't talk about, but we got like 3 really interesting games that were marquee matchups today.
Yeah, and I will always maintain, for anybody who's new, we have been doing this podcast long enough and we care enough about this sport that we are going to discuss the things that we find super interesting. Like we're very thankful for the autonomy there. If we would not enjoy this, we would not be up this late doing this and be 45 minutes into it, only talking 2 games if we weren't discussing something we were excited about. Tom picked LSU to win the national championship. He said, when everyone's not talking about LSU, that's when LSU jumps up and bites you. And sure enough, I mean, as Brian Kelly said after the game, they flushed that first half and they came out and they came up with the winning plays. I thought Blake Baker did a very good job of being able to have that team be aggressive. Harold Perkins, we were talking about making Harold Perkins the duck, figure out a way to isolate him. And he not only played well in this game, but came up with like the winning plays in this game. There was a touchdown that probably should have been that was called back, and yet LSU still wins this game. I thought the kicker's leg fell off, but he was able to come back. I mean, everything was breaking in the direction of Clemson still finding a way to win despite not playing well. And yet LSU emerged from Death Valley playing under the lights with a win against Clemson after trailing at halftime. All of these things, winning at Clemson at night, and doing so after trailing, all of these things are extremely rare during the sort of Dabo Swinney peak heyday. Tom, how did LSU get it done? What were you most impressed by?
Heauxrt, the Hort that the LSU showed. There wasn't really one specific aspect I was impressed by. I just thought that they were the better football team. And over 60 minutes, it took them a while to finally take the lead, but they finally got there. They took it, and then they held on to it. It's the offensive line early in the game was looking like it had 4 new starters. And while I wouldn't say that they covered themselves in glory throughout the entire game, because they definitely had some very bad snaps, I think that they did enough at times to actually, keep the ball moving, especially in the run game early. I think that kind of faded late, but LSU also kind of adjusted its play calling to scheme around some of the problems that their offensive line may have been having later in that game. Maybe that's one of the things they changed at halftime. Garrett Nussmeier, I thought, was all right. He finished 28 of 38, but for only 230 yards, a touchdown. So it wasn't exactly an incredible performance. Caden Durham looked good. Aaron Anderson, he's tiny, he's fast, he's hard to follow because you can't see him. And he
good game. Good game.
Finds his way into space and then starts running real fast. But I also think that the LSU defense deserves a lot of credit. I mean, the money looks well spent in the secondary. Yeah, I think that you are very pleased with what you've gotten so far. Their linebackers were okay. The defensive line looked good. Cade Klubnik looked like ass. He looked like everybody thinks Arch Manning looked like. Just terrible. Where's Danny now? Danny's gone before Cade Klubnik comes up. You can notice that. One of the best quarterbacks in the country, 19 of 38 for 230 yards, no touchdowns, an interception, but he did rush for 1 yard on 8 carries because he's a dual threat. Doesn't show up against a big-time opponent. He's not shaking the allegations, folks.
I think Tom nailed it there. I thought LSU did a great job just saying, hey, like we're going to be who we are, and that means sending pressure. And Clemson, can you handle it? Can you adjust to it? And they did not. I've never been a Klubnik guy when it comes to like, hey, I think he's a top half of the first round type dude. To me, like those guys have a different look to them generally. And I just, I've seen Cade in person, like a number of times, just like, he's good. I just don't think he's like special. And yet, what are they, 1-7 now, I think, against ranked non-ACC teams since that Sugar Bowl against Ohio State? Like when Clemson has played similar athletes in recent years, it's not gone too well for them. And I don't know if it's a toughness thing or a mentality thing or whatever, but you see all this NFL draft projection stuff. Like they didn't play like a team that had 8 projected draft picks or whatever it was. I thought LSU outcoached them. Like credit to Baker, the LSU DC, for like just being true to who they were and trusting their guys in the secondary. That team has gotten a whole lot better over the last 2 years on defense. To Tom's point, I thought Delane, the corner they bought for Virginia Tech, was really good. Like that was huge. Obviously, we know Clemson had the receiver injury there earlier in the game. It couldn't help, but I don't know if it's just one guy that made all that difference. And like LSU, they got pressure when they brought it. When they dropped, like Clemson's line was okay, but if they're going to send it like that, you kind of got to make them pay. And I thought their pickup was not great. Cade does have a tendency to bail out of pockets prematurely. That doesn't always mean like it's the wrong call, but like he sees some pressure and he gets out of there quick. And like the Clemson fans have seen a lot of this roll right, throw it out of bounds stuff, or roll right, dirt the ball in prior years. To Tom's point, like I thought they did a great job of letting Perkins be what he really can be, which is just be a crazy person off the edge, and just go with it. And like they didn't have to get out of it because Clemson never made them pay for it.
No,
it was great. I mean, from LSU standpoint, LSU also ran the ball for 100 yards, which we didn't see last year. I don't think that offensive line was great, but ultimately, I do think Clemson has a lot of future pros on their D line, and they did not dominate LSU up and down the board.
And Clemson couldn't run the ball to save its life.
No.
Like, even if you take out the sack yardage, they average 2.9. Yeah. Like, that's those running backs that when your best running back is a wide receiver, I'm worried. Here's the question for you. Is Clemson even one of the two best teams in the ACC after what we saw today?
It's one game. I definitely think they are.
Come on, Bud, say it. No, they're behind Florida State now, Bud.
That's true. Yeah.
Clemson roster reminds me more of SMU than it does Miami and Florida
State.
Whoa, I'm kidding. Based on what I said about Florida State last week.
Is Cade like a top 100 pick?
No. Well, he might be. There are a lot of dumb GMs out there.
I think if you're an NFL team and you're like, yeah, we want this guy with like a top 20 pick. I don't know, man. Like, there's not a lot of Stanford and Cal in the NFL.
If Cade was a top 100 pick, he's not at Clemson right now.
It was a good QB draft. Well, no. Okay, fair.
Is he Quinn Ewers?
No, I think he'd be taken higher than Quinn Ewers because he doesn't have the health issues and health concerns that Quinn had.
He's bigger.
He's more mobile that way. So like you feel like there's stuff you can do there, but I just don't think as far as NFL talent, what they're looking for, he has a lot of it as a passer.
Is he a lot bigger than Quinn Ewers?
He's taller.
He's taller. Quinn, I mean, he's thicker. Quinn's pretty slight.
Yeah.
What do you think Cade's going to measure at?
6'1", 210. Just eye testing.
What did Ewers measure at?
Oh, let me check.
I don't like having seen both these guys in person. Like in my mind, I'm not like Cade is definitively like bigger, more imposing than Quinn.
Quinn is 6'2", 210, so maybe 215. Okay.
He has put on size for sure. He was more bulked up at Elite 11 when you saw him without the pads on. I will give him that.
I think that if you're putting on the orange tinted glasses, you're being like, well, if only we had Antonio Williams. I don't think Antonio Williams would have saved this. Like if only a couple of those catches, because Cade did make some good throws down the sideline late in this game that just didn't end up coming to fruition. There were some things, some tough breaks, where things just didn't go Clemson's way. But like I mentioned, there was a litany of things that they did go their way, and yet they still were not able to cash in on it. If Clemson's offensive line for a long time has been a spot of sort of division among the way you look at Clemson's offense, because, Bud, when you're talking about the athletes and how you look against different teams, that Clemson's offensive line has been able to mash against a lot of opponents on their schedule, but then they've had skill players and quarterbacks that have been able to overcome whatever deficiencies they have there against an Alabama back when Nick Saban was running it, or against the Ohio State teams that Urban was coaching when they were beating Ohio State. I mean, remember how many times did Urban Meyer lose to Clemson back there in that run of about 8 years? I mean, it was about 3 losses.
At least twice, yeah.
Yeah. And in those cases, they had quarterbacks and wide receivers that were able to go get it done. I don't know. It's going to be very, very difficult because Clemson's going to get a shot at Florida State, and that'll be the redemption opportunity.
Yeah.
And that'll be a game. I mean, one of the things I wrote for CBSSports.com was when I was writing about Clemson and sort of previewing about Florida State and previewing what's ahead. Florida State has entered that conversation with the Clemson, with the Miami. I mean, at a minimum, we've brought Clemson down a notch. We have moved Florida State up a notch. So within the ACC, those are teams within the same conversation with a Louisville, with an SMU. Like that is It's a crowded and with the Miami. It's a crowded and interesting conversation. But unfortunately for the ACC, crowded and interesting does not gain you a ton of respect nationally. You know, like they entered this game with the top 5 team, and now we're back to seeing, okay, and let's see who emerges from the ACC, the same way we talk about the Big 12.
It's a way different conversation than it would have been in the 4-team era. I think you still have a really good shot at getting multiple teams in. You know, like I don't think a lot of teams are going to rise up and beat Clemson. You know, and they're going to say, okay, it's a 1-score loss, albeit at home, certainly. You know, to a team in LSU, I think we have to upgrade after tonight because their defense looks good.
Right.
Like I don't think that is like this isn't keeping Clemson out of the playoff. This could, in theory, back in the 4-team era, certainly.
You know, but the adjustment that needs to happen for a team that, like, Bill C was right. But, you know, Bill Connolly out here, like, I've been on a book tour, and in all my book tour appearances, I'm hating on Clemson because I'm telling you they're not the 4th best team in the country, and they looked a lot more like the 10th best team in the country than the 4th best team in the country here on this Saturday. Now, the 10th best team in the country can still make the college football playoff, but if we were talking about this season as being a return to glory, then that was going to be different. All right, what about LSU? Can LSU win the SEC?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I mean, what would have had to happen today for you to say they definitively could not? Either Arch looks amazing or Simpson looks amazing, right?
Or like, Alabama blew Florida State out of the water, or Texas beat Ohio State. I think there's a shrink too, and a leveling of what's happening in the SEC.
If one of the teams out there that we think has the best rosters also paired that with a quarterback that was playing unbelievably, we would say, that team looks hard to beat, or like almost impossible to beat. But Texas and Alabama did not show that, right? So I think the SEC is wide open. You know, Georgia,
not a lot. It's weird, man. There's not a lot of robots in college football. No, everybody would play to their peak efficiency if they were all robots. Anything else from?
That's a pretty nice 7-hour. Like LSU fans had a good day. Like watching Alabama get whipped and then
it's a great day to be a Tiger.
And seeing Arch didn't stay home in his home state. Going the road late in Ohio State like that. Yeah.
One last thing about this game. The bus thing is stupid. Can we please stop showing the bus? If you want to show them run down the hill, cool. I dig that. Yeah, the hill's cool, but I don't need to see them get in a bus and ride around the stadium for 2 minutes and then get out and run down the hill. Just show them running down the hill. Nobody cares about the buses. Let's stop pretending that's cool.
2013 is when FSU went in there and punked them, right? Yeah, right.
You know better.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, 2013, they dog walked everybody.
I'm sitting like next to Pat 40, and I forgot it was on my left. We were watching it. Like, this is it's been dumb for a decade, guys. Like, we don't need to see the bus. Like, the hill is cool. The bus is dumb. Thank you.
They don't go that far.
They literally drive around the stadium. It's lazy. Think about the culture. You're telling your team walking 50 feet is too much. We need to get on a bus.
It's insane. Like there's so much cool stuff to showcase at Clemson. It's like, if you guys have been there, you know, it's just it's really cool. There's a lot of stuff you can show. We don't need to showcase the bus.
It's an incredible stadium in a beautiful setting. Like, just show that. Just show that.
Like putting the camera like in the bus, like whatever producer at ESPN thought that was cool in 2013 is like thinks that's still cool in 2025. Like, bro, it's played out. Come on.
He owns the bus company.
No. I like the overreaction that it makes them soft.
It does. It's a soft mindset.
It can't be a safety issue to walk 50 feet. You're literally running down a hill with a crowd of people around you.
More dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's. I think we've hit.
Going now.
Yeah. Where do we want to go now?
I think we just talked about the most important thing. I mean, that bus is stupid. What else do we really need to say on this show?
Nush should have taken the bus, like spun around the stadium.
All right, where do we need? Are we good on ads?
The chat. We got a lot of Vols fans in the chat tonight.
All right, Mikey.
We're going there? We're going,
Yeah, Vols fans.
it seems to be like a lot of Vols fans in the tailgate tonight. Like, should we talk Tennessee?
Joey
Yeah,
Aguilar
Joe.
for
Let's grade Joey Aguilar's debut.
A++.
Yeah, like he
Plus value add.
made a couple high level throws and largely hit the open guys that they schemed up for. So, hey, I mean, I don't think Syracuse is very good, but like regardless, if you're a Vols fan and you're watching Nico about to go down, man, Utah's kicker just drilled it. Literally perfect time here, 23-7. We're going to the half. You're probably feeling okay.
Fran Brown might not be taking many showers this year.
Hey, I thought they were going to get buried. I had kind of moved that.
It was 17-0 at the end of one.
Yeah,
but it was a 10-point game. You know, they were never going to win, but Syracuse did not quit. You know,
no. So kudos, but
they were never going to stop Tennessee.
Yeah, that was the problem. Like defensively, Tennessee was just getting anything it wanted.
Tennessee's run game. Tennessee with that new offensive line and without Sampson and
without David Sanders too.
Well, right. Like, I mean, and without a serious run threat at quarterback, running for what they were for like almost 300.
Yeah, they ran for 6 a clip.
If you're a Syracuse fan, that is a massive red flag. Like, we knew that Texas loved the D tackle they took from Syracuse. It was like, what are the odds Syracuse is okay here? After they lost that kid after spring, remember? So, that was a mismatch along the lines of scrimmage in both ways. I did not think that Tennessee's offensive line would bully Syracuse like that. I thought Tennessee's D line would quit eat, and they did.
Did you get eyes on little Penn State Nevada action?
I did.
That's on the Exos. Tom, you can go.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I paid super close attention to this game, but I saw some of it just because I wanted to, see if Penn State came out and looked like we'd expect them to look in this game, considering all the hype around them and all the promises, or not promises, but the promising nature of their season. And they did. They came out. They looked like a much better team than Nevada. And I quickly pieced out because it was like, all right, I'm looking at the box score now. Like there's not numbers here that are going to make you say, wow. Like Drew Aller was 22 of 26 for 217 yards. I mean, it was just, they were not showing anything. They are very much in, let's just breeze through non-con and get ready for the Oregon game mode. And the crime of this game was Nevada scoring and going for 2 in the final minute to kill my under.
I thought this was intentional. The first half featured a lot of targets for Hudson and Pena. We were breaking in our new toys. We were letting Drew Aller get out there and cook. Penn State's defense looks ferocious. They've lost Tom Allen. They've added Jim Knowles, and they still are horrifying for an opposing quarterback in terms of what they can do, forcing turnovers. I mean, it's check. Penn State answered a lot of questions. What about Michigan? What do we think about Bryce Underwood?
Hit and miss. I mean, there were some night he threw a block on one touchdown run. It was a pretty devastating block. He leveled the guy on like the cutback, but he also threw it with his throwing shoulder. And I was like, bro, we don't do that. That is dumb. You got paid $10 million for that shoulder. Like, let's chill. Let's be cool with it. But I mean, he was 21 to 31 for 251 yards, a touchdown. Justice Haynes ran for 160 yards and 3 touchdowns. Like, it was a clinical performance by their offense. The defense, like New Mexico scored 17 points. Eck is he is a creative human being when it comes to that offense. That was not an easy kind of prep if you're Michigan for that one. Fun, yeah. So like the Lobos were able to get some points on the board because of it, but by and large, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm guessing the success rate probably wasn't super high. They just had a few big hits.
There was some BS in this game though, because there is a massive game in week 2 and Jay Sean Barham's not going to be able to play.
Oh, that was a terrible call.
This better get overruled by somebody.
Can they? Once the official makes the call, the rule's in place that you've got to serve the suspension.
No, I think they can. They've done
with the
this
Big
before.
Ten league office.
I think so.
That is Michigan's best question mark defensive player.
Or you just play him next week and you tell the NCAA to put it on your tab.
It's Michigan.
It's just
Targeting is such a nonsense penalty. Like
just throw another $5 million on there and let them play.
That to me was on my notepad as one of the most significant things coming out of the game. That especially because moneyline material looked awesome. You know, Oklahoma looked really good. And the
offensive line was not great, though. They were struggling to run the ball against Illinois State. That's not a good sign to me.
That's fair.
Yeah. I liked what I saw from Underwood. I mean, it's the kid's first game. He just turned 18. Like,
it's a boy.
I don't think there's not a whole lot of results that would make me say, yeah, like he's awesome right now, because let's recall New Mexico was one of the absolute worst defenses we've ever seen at the FBS level last year. But they're not a whole lot better this year. Like, newsflash, New Mexico didn't have a lot of NIL money to go to do a one-year flip on their defensive roster. But like, I thought Bryce did some really nice things. It gives them a chance if he can keep building on this. I don't know that he's there right now, but he's way better than what they had last year at the position. Like, last year was just, that was unwatchable. Targeting is a made up construct and should not even be a thing. Like, bring back spearing and let the boys play football. Like the penalty of spearing, like that. This is just nonsense, like CYA legal stuff. So if they get sued into oblivion for head injuries in 20 years, like, oh, we tried. That's a good hit. Why are we like screwing Michigan over just a good football play, man? Heads collide. It happens.
Dante Moore, speaking of new quarterbacks, Dante Moore stepped out. I don't have a specific Dante Moore grade, though. Will Stein's Ducks offense was definitely in just like, I mean, Mekhi Hughes was out there getting runs. Whittington was out there getting runs. I mean, they were gashing Montana State on the ground and being able to kind of open things up the rest of the way. Didn't feel like I got a good grade that I can apply for Oregon moving forward, but you check mark, no concerns. Not the case staying in the Big Ten for Mark Gronowski. Not a great start.
Another bad look for Danny.
Oh, rough.
Florida State won, but at what cost?
I took Iowa to make the playoff on CBS HQ yesterday. They're like, well, we need some picks. It was like, these odds have been picked over so bad. Like, okay, like let's go Iowa here. Just because of who they play, who looked worse on Thursday and Friday night. I was like, all right, like Nebraska looks way worse than I thought they would look. Like Minnesota didn't look amazing against Buffalo. A couple teams that I thought might have been kind of more coin flippy type games for Iowa look a little bit more winnable now. And then they come out and they do this. So 44 yards passing, that was not great. Can we go back to Oregon real quick?
Yeah.
Because I do have this game on, and there's a kid that Oregon had committed in Jerron, JKS. I'm not going to butcher his name here on the show. It's QE Sagapotele. This guy is making big boy throws, like 4 or 5 of them tonight. You guys have got to watch this if you have not. Like, I know he's got all day to throw. Like, this is, I mean,
because it's Oregon State.
But like, in a bucket, dropping dime. Like, this is some of the best throws I've seen all day of college football. So Cal may have a due to QB.
Cal might not be horrible.
They don't look like they miss Mendoza at all. I know it's Oregon State, like, and he's a freshman. So let's see. But
that was a great that's a great example. And I am guilty of this. We get general program vibes, and we still need to get to Thursday, Friday stuff, but you get general program vibes and all of a sudden you make a whole judgment on a team. And again, I'm guilty of this with Cal. I'm guilty of this with Auburn. You're just like, oh gosh, like surely they can't possibly be good. And I was like, well, there's like 150 individuals that contribute to whether this team is going to win or lose. And if generally, like, just because the GM's not happy doesn't mean that everything else is going to be horrible. And if you've got a super talented quarterback, guess what that super talented quarterback wants to do? Throw touchdowns. Go out there and win football games. So, yeah, Cal, take notes here. I know that we were doing Tom, when you and I were talking about that game, we were just like, come on, you can't make Cal an underdog against Oregon State. No. That's just no.
And we think
absolutely.
they suck.
Yeah.
I bet under here, and under still may hit because I thought both offenses would struggle. Oregon State's offense is dreadful, so I guess we were half right. But this kid may cover the over himself.
That's good news for Justin Wilcox. Good news for the Bears that they've got that going. I did not get eyes on Georgia.
Yeah, I barely watched Georgia at all. That game was over by the end of the first quarter, so
they were sitting on them.
Mm-hmm. They were doing the Kirby thing that he does in these games.
The worst remote I have. Like, we stay in a lot of hotels, obviously. Like, we travel a lot for this business. This remote is ridiculous. Like, the sound button does not work at all, and like I'm like mashing these buttons just to try to get like one.
Don't make me call the front desk.
I mean, look, like the no volume no work at all.
I haven't seen a remote like that in a long time.
TV's decent quality. I mean, it's probably a like 55-incher. It's on a swivel, so I'm it's actually helping me with the lighting a little bit. But this is yeah.
All right, so all right, do you want to take it to Thursday, Friday?
Sure.
Is there anything else from Saturday? We want to make sure we hit?
Let's quickly say that we thought Utah's offense had a really good chance to hit the ground running, and they scored 24 points in the first half against UCLA. Not that UCLA's defense is any good, but they look crisp. Like, they're scheming guys open. The ball is on time, in stride. Guys running up the catch. They're moving people to the offensive line. Utah looks like the best Big 12 team by far right now, based on what the Big 12 stuff I've watched so far today and last week.
Speaking of the Big 12, Kansas State, maybe take a bye next time between your trip back from Ireland, although it didn't bother Iowa State.
Didn't bother Iowa State.
Yeah, but just that was a very scary call for Kansas State.
Rocco Becht completed his first 14 passes. Rocco Becht is having a good start to the season.
Yeah, he had one thing right last week. But before we get to Thursday and Friday, I mean, we should mention that Kent State snapped its losing streak. Oh, but they didn't cover, did they?
But they didn't cover.
No, they didn't. Who covered?
That would be Merrimack.
Merrimack, that's right. I still think the wrong team was favored, but they had a couple special teams touchdowns. Good for Kent State. Merrimack's got to get that cleaned up, but don't worry, they'll be fine.
How concerned are we that Kentucky's passing line was 10-23 for 85?
Listen, if you are
yes,
if you are a Kentucky fan, just talk about how great your defense looked. Don't pay any attention to that offense behind the curtain. Look at our defense. It was spectacular.
Bud, I had I was in that's noon slate, so I'm in the office. You know, you've got like 8 TVs up there, and it was very convenient because we had Mississippi State Southern right above the Toledo Kentucky game, and there was a moment when they were both kind of in that kind of category, and then Mississippi State hit the gas, right? And Southern Miss could not keep up whatsoever, but Kentucky just could not pull away. It was like Mississippi State had an offense, and Kentucky just could not spell the damn word. It was incredible. And especially seeing a 2 just sit on the screen for a while, you're like, oh, it's still 10-2. Still. Yeah. It's,
you know how it is, Chips. You live by the 3, you die by it, you know.
That's nothing but basketball jokes.
Wildcats today.
Yeah.
You guys will recall that we told you a really fun team to root for if you wanted a secondary team to root for this year.
Rice.
It was the Rice Owls.
They got it
done. To Louisiana. They beat the Raging Cajuns. Now, Walker Howard got hurt late in this game, like on the final drive. So I don't know what the status is there, but like this was I don't think this was fluky. Like, that's a cool. Now, that was for 14 points. So the fun offense obviously wasn't that much fun, but it was fun for them to get the dub.
Your favorite quarterback, Marcel Reed, had a career high for touchdown passes. I'm far more concerned about Texas A&M's run defense and how UTSA was able to move the ball effectively against the Aggies in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to make excuses for it, but a lot of what A&M kind of does is they don't mind giving up yards. It's when you get to the red zone is when they kind of clamp down on you. So it might just been we don't care. Let them run.
Somebody had asked me, like, hey, did Michael Penix just make Kalen DeBoer? I was like, maybe. But maybe Kentucky's offensive renaissance was literally just having an offensive genius in Liam Cohen, who's now like a head coach in the NFL because he's so good at calling plays. Have we thought about that?
It's certainly possible. Yeah.
Extremely possible. Well, then why'd Sean McVay kick him back? Why'd he take him and then send him home?
McVay was probably, he's intimidated.
He was too good.
Yeah. He didn't want
out of the NFL. Go back to college, bro.
Yeah. Get the hell out of here before people start thinking you're better than me.
Yeah. Okay. Lots more to be able to dig in on. Of course, that's why we have a pun for the review. But coming up on
Georgia Southern 42-14.
Yeah.
Holy cow!
Don't make the Bulldogs underdogs. Are you kidding me?
Georgia Southern, yeah. They made Georgia Southern favorites. They had to travel across the country to play Fresno, and they were favorites.
Overreaction.
Disgusting.
This wasn't even some insane turnover game. I didn't get eyes on this at all. Let's try to talk about games we watched. I'm sorry, but like that, just scrolling down the list.
Think of how good Kansas must be. If they're able to do at Fresno what they did, that Fresno does that to Georgia Southern, man,
transitive property on August 30th. What's better than this? Okay. Coming up on the other side, the best of Thursday and Friday in week 1 and more. Next.
Get ready.
Wait a second. I thought we were going tubing.
All 3 Sonic the Hedgehog movies and Knuckles are now streaming on Paramount Plus.
And everyone loves it.
Every adventure.
Just try to keep up.
Every face-off.
This ends now.
And every moment that will have you saying,
Where have you been? My entire life!
It's showtime!
All 3 Sonic the Hedgehog movies and the entire Sonic universe are now streaming on Paramount Plus.
On the Cover 3 podcast. Again, we will continue to rock and roll through a lot of Saturday. It is an annual tradition that we spend our Sundays trying to get eyes on what we were not able to. But we had more Thursday and Friday games than we were going to have the entire rest of the season. So there are some big headlines and stuff to dig in on. I think I would like to, obviously, I would like to offer a little mea culpa of sorts. I'm not going to stand on anybody's territory here, but I overreacted to bad vibes, as I do. The always taking the temperature, doing little vibe checks. I joked that Auburn might even be surprised if they played well, like on the team playing, that they would just yuck it up. Like, wow, I didn't even think that would happen. But they found something. You know what they found? If we run the ball at the middle of Baylor's defense, they won't be able to stop it. And then they just spammed it, just over and over and over again. And sure enough, Baylor didn't stop them. Baylor's offensive line is fine, probably not awesome. And now Auburn has a little bit of juice. I don't know how far that juice will carry them or what the ceiling is here, but certainly not the way I expected that game to go. How do you see that one playing out, Tom?
I mean, I kind of said, we talked about it in HQ. I was either taking Baylor straight up to win or an Auburn alt line, and Auburn.
This was the Auburn alt line.
Yeah, Auburn ended up winning in the alt line. So, I listen. I don't think if you're Auburn, you should feel bad about anything. Like Jackson Arnold had a good game. My concern about Jackson Arnold is he was still only 11 of 17 for 108 yards passing, which when you've got those receivers, I feel like you should probably do a little better than that. But he did rush for 137 yards and 2 touchdowns. But like the problem for me with Jackson Arnold's never been his ability to run the football. It's been his ability to throw the football. So I still have concerns about that. But defensively, I thought Auburn looked mostly like not bad. They were able to get pressure, but they were also giving up like big plays. There were some controversial calls, I guess you could say, in that one that went Auburn's way. Just it was a good win. It was a nice win. It's a good way to start the season. I think it's an important win to go on and beat one of the teams that's supposed to be one of the favorites in the Big 12 and to win it on the road. It sets you up going forward to help keep, your playoff case alive if you have one, but also just for confidence going into conference play. But it was not a win to me to which I sit there and think that Auburn is that much different than it was last year.
Coming out of the symposium, I know we had shared that Auburn thought they had 6 offensive linemen who would have a shot to be drafted. I thought the offensive line played well. They ran Jackson Arnold a ton, like a lot. So on the one hand, good, you found something that works with Jackson Arnold. We still don't really know how good this Auburn passing game will be. I do like their weapons a lot. They didn't really showcase the passing weapons all that much. But if you're an Auburn fan, you don't really care because you needed to go on the road and get a win against the Baylor team. I'm pretty confident Baylor's at least decent. I'd be surprised if they're just kind of mid or bad, right? Like that's a decent football team, I think, based on who the quarterback is, who they brought back.
I've moved Kansas State down further after the results that I've seen so far. Like I think.
Well, I was under on Kansas State for the win totals. Like I was pretty, like just based on some of the pieces that were injured for them. But
I would pick Baylor over Kansas State right now.
Agreed. Yeah.
I would not have said that 2 weeks. I would not have said that 3 weeks ago, but I definitely think that now.
They certainly have the ability to bounce back, right? But I mean, it's also possible maybe it just doesn't click this year. I don't know. I mean, Auburn I thought looked good, maybe not amazing, but still, like to go and win by multiple scores on the road is hard to do. So like Auburn gets credit. It's something they can build upon. I thought like they did a really nice job of clogging the passing lanes and getting their hands up against Sawyer Robertson. I think they had 4 bat downs at the line of scrimmage that I was counting in like critical situations when I was watching this. Like, okay, like that's really useful right there. So, like I think both teams, like, can Baylor come away from this game thinking, hey, we're fine, but we didn't take a major step from where we were last year, and Auburn's like, we did take a step.
Yeah, I'm starting to get a little bit teams that finish a season audit myself. Teams that finish the season running hot. Baylor had 6 consecutive wins to close the regular season. Lost the bowl game, but 6 wins at the end of the year. They go back, and you want to think that there is carryover, there is momentum. You would think even more so that would happen with all the starters that are back. A team that totally reloads, team that has a coaching change, you got to throw all that out the window. Maybe in modern college football, we just have to throw it all out the window anyway.
That's fair. Yeah, especially because like you're going to play some teams who are easier in the back half or easier in the front half. Like not all schedules are considered are even. Hilarious comment, by the way, and I've been thinking this for a while. Keith Landry in the tailgate. Every time Chip brings up that mic, I feel like he's about to sing a Wayne Newton number.
Hey, no, do you know what happened? Tom got me all insecure. Tom started being like, "Oh, you're gonna leave. You're gonna go on the road, huh? Well, guess what? I think the quality goes down when you go on the road." So you know what I did? I'm not going to move the computer because I don't want to mess up the connection, but I bought a mixer, and I bought a Shure SM58, and I bought a new XLR cable, and I bought a new USB cable because I'm going to update and I'm going to build myself a little road kit so that you can't say nothing about the quality of the production. I mean, internet might be a little tough as you deal with what
are you in the Westin or the Marriott or the Renaissance?
Westin.
Okay. Did you get the suite that has the carpet by the bathroom, or did you get the smaller room that has tile?
I got the suite. I'm on the I'm not going to give you my floor, but it smelled a little bit funky.
Okay.
I got off the elevator. Luckily, the AC's been pumping, so the air's a little bit fresher in the actual room. But yeah, I'd be worried about air quality.
Yeah,
if we were in a
it's
different.
really inside baseball, but like there's only a couple hotels by the CBS office, so like sir, you got the upgrade. I'm like, I don't want it. I don't want carpet in the bathroom. Just give me the regular room.
So yeah.
For any of
my audiophiles out there, the Shure SM58 is a time-honored tradition for being a durable and high-quality microphone, and that's why it has been around for so long. And so yeah,
I'm mad at Tom because Chip sounds great, and I just carry this on the road. This is the mic kit. Now I've got to like start jamming this mixer into my bag to uphold audio quality standard.
Two things. First of all, Chip, you sound like shit. Second of all, like I was kidding. I didn't mean it. I was just giving you crap. I didn't think going on the road was really going to hurt the show.
Well, $250 later, here's where we are. I'm looking like it's $19.99 out here.
Dude.
It's not unusual
to be loved.
I mean, hey, the cruise lines sail right out of there. Like, just go hop on.
That's right. When I'm at the airport tomorrow, I'll just get on the van and go straight to the cruise ship.
So we are now 87 minutes into the reaction show.
All right. So are we doing Boise USF or are we doing
we gotta do Georgia Tech, Colorado. Haynes King superstar, and or what do we think about new look Colorado?
If you turn the ball over 3 times in the first 8 minutes and you still cover,
yeah.
Okay, I do actually have a take here. Across the sport, we are seeing coaches make the mathematically and analytically correct call more often. You saw Mike Norvell today go for it on 4th and 1 from his own 34. That is the right call by the book that almost all these teams buy. Do the coaches always follow that? No. Increasingly, though, they are, because over time, like I think the data just keeps showing them, hey, this is the right call. Like, don't kick a field goal to go up, 6. Like you're making a one-score game. Like the right punt decisions. Deion coaches like he's an NFL coach from 1992 in this regard. And the thing is, if the rest of the sport gets smarter around you, it magnifies how bad your errors are in game management. Like Deion did cost him that game with how he managed it. Like Georgia Tech was a better team. Georgia Tech deserved to win. They ran for 342 yards. But the ridiculous punts that Deion calls for in situations, it robs his team of the ability to score and maximize their possessions. Also, keeping 2 timeouts in your pocket on a potential game-time drive and running just 2 plays in 52 seconds is coaching malpractice. Like that, if you're a player on Colorado, you're pissed about that, I think. I mean, you should be pissed at yourself. You didn't play very well on offense, but still, like Deion's game management is really bad. And it's been almost every year. Last year, Travis Hunter and Shedeur bailed him out. But like that's rough.
Yeah. Agree with all that. Seconded. And then, Colorado without Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter isn't nearly as good. Who could have seen it coming?
Well, and in that situation, too, it's like, okay, what we really need is for Colorado to march down the field. We need somebody who can stretch it vertically and throw a deep pass. And I'm like, well, I tell you who would really help in this situation, Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter. When we saw them do these same kind of late game heroics over the last 2 years. And I just
Horn
had zero.
And the other guys they lost.
Oh, yeah, Horn, Shepard.
Who's the kid that caught the ball when the Baylor DB slipped down last year?
Was it Shepard?
Will
Shepard, the Vandy kid?
I think it might have been. In fact, the late roll, like the rollout heave, which I don't know why we're throwing a Hail Mary with 18 seconds left, but
when you have 2 timeouts left.
Oh, it's Wester. Looks like, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That rollout left, chuck it deep into the end zone, looked a hell of a lot like the Shedeur pass against Baylor. The difference was you don't have Shedeur.
You don't have Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
Yeah, Caden Salter is a drop off from Shedeur.
Yeah, they had like one first down the rest of the first half after the opening drive.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the defense was good.
Yeah, defense looked surprisingly feisty.
Yeah, they were getting after it.
I think that
the problem is they were facing Haynes King, who has been through so many wars. You're just not going to stop him. That was the meanest thing that somebody said in the office today. They were like, "Oh man, I bet Texas wishes they had Haynes King right now."
You ever seen the picture of like the old lion with all the scars on his face?
That's Haynes King.
That's Haynes King. Just beaten and bruised, but he's still the king of that jungle.
Yeah.
We need
also the turf.
What?
We did what?
Let's finish Colorado first. I will give Colorado credit for this. They have taken a number of SEC washouts on the defensive line who, for whatever injury, behavioral stuff, whatever it is, and they have done a nice job getting those guys to play hard and buy in and improve their technique. I do think like that is a thing. I think they do a good job with that. Maybe that's Warren Sapp, maybe that's somebody else. But if we're going to blast them for having just like drunk video game management, we should give them credit for what they're doing on the defensive line. I think it's pretty good.
What were you going to say, Tom? Where do you want to go?
No, I was just going to say that Ralphie doesn't want to run on that field because of the turf. We figured it out.
It's because it's a natural grass turf, enthusiast. Right? Yeah.
Do you guys?
Ralphie's not trying to tear no ACL out there.
Do you have Big Ten Network? Because we may need to watch Washington Colorado State game.
It's 14-14 in the third.
Yeah.
Washington. Baby, what are you doing?
Jan Norvell's got them boys going.
Rutgers almost lost to Ohio.
That game was bangers. Just explosive after explosive, 5-yard loss, explosive, 5-yard loss, just nonstop.
Well, all right. We'll talk about USF and Boise here in just a second. I had USF Boise, I had NC State ECU, and then kind of like my rotator there was the Ohio Rutgers. Tell me if I'm wrong about this, like if I'm already off base, but I feel like we might have an opportunity. Like there's going to be a lot of people who are out here and they're like, oh, and like Rutgers, Rutgers is going to play some good defense. I don't know if Rutgers is going to play good defense this year.
I don't think they are.
I do have something here.
I love when we get the stereotypical team. Like there's going to be a lot of commentary. Yeah.
Still a little skeptical because remember they lost their left tackle like the last week of preseason camp for the year. I want to see like against a good D line can they block it up. Ohio doesn't really have dudes, but I did have a Miami source who I trust said that Mohamed Toure, the linebacker who was really good for Rutgers at one time and then got hurt, that he's all the way back and is like looking really good for Miami. So I was like, how are you guys going to replace Maui Noah, who's in the NFL now, right? And he's like, oh, Toure is that dude now. I was like, oh, he's back like to what he was? He's like, yeah, dude, he's been great. I was like, okay. So heard that over the weekend. Rutgers could sure use him right now.
Parker Navarro all up in that ass.
Or like Parker Navarro is. Where would Parker Navarro rank among Big Ten quarterbacks?
Not last.
Yeah, not last. I mean, shit, Northwestern can use him. I mean, my God. That was a hideous performance by Northwestern today.
Summerall went like full Troy. Like that was. I felt like we were back being Troy boy watching that.
Just putting them in hell and just making them quit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What did Idaho do?
Sorry, I don't know.
Nebraska won a 1-score game. That happened on Thursday night.
They did.
In front of Taylor Swift. Stuck it right in her eye. No, Jesus, Chip. What?
I didn't say anything.
Your reaction.
Oh my God.
So I do think it is charming and endearing that the first game that they took in together as a engaged couple was just I mean, Cincinnati has not spent any time in the Big Ten West, but that was a Big Ten West type game.
Ryan in the chat referring to Raiola leading Mahomes' legacy drive. I want to know, is Pat Mahomes sitting in that in the skybox watching this game? It's just like, come on.
Well, he left early.
He's like, I've never seen me make that throw. I don't miss that guy running down the seam.
Just do him.
I mean, was it Nebraska at one point, I think, had like a 9-minute drive, and everyone was like, Dana Holgerson just had a 9-minute drive.
Yeah, he's been infected.
Yeah.
He's fully been infected.
They're running all the Dana stuff just from 2 tight end sets.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They didn't look like did they look like a better team than Cincinnati? They felt like very even teams.
It was a very even ball game. I mean, and that was full home field advantage for Nebraska, even though they were technically the road team.
We think Cincy's like a mid-level Big 12 team, kind of.
Yeah, I think Brendan Sorsby needs to present more of a passing threat than he showed in that game. But,
like
we had so many running quarterbacks in the Thursday-Friday package.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Damn, we got some like drag racing in Tallahassee outside the window. Okay.
Georgia in town?
Go Dogs.
That goes to the best. We're all gonna get like vacations one day because of this, I think. But I think Nebraska has more explosive weapons, but that offensive line is a problem. Like Cincinnati's it's nice when they don't have all their players get hurt in week 1, so they can actually like play well on defense. But like I thought Nebraska was kind of getting handled on both sides of the line of scrimmage. That's probably a concern if you play in the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that USF can win the American?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think they could win the American. Yes. I also that was not a 34-7 type ball game. I don't think it was a very evenly played first half. The fake punt changed that game like quite a bit as far as momentum goes. But I mean, Boise does miss JT. Newsflash, the guy's awesome.
I thought Boise was another example of a team that pissed down their leg.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I do think, like, as far as a conference, the entire week 0 and week 1 has been very good for the American because the Mountain West looks awful for the most part. Like all the teams that are supposed to be good in their league have peed down their legs. I mean, like San Jose State lost last night to Central Michigan at home. Boise got shellacked. UNLV beat Sam Houston and definitely looked better than it did in the first game, but they don't look like anything special. It's just, the Mountain West looks bad. I think our G6 rep could be coming from the American this year.
Yeah.
I think Boise State will play better and still has a team that should be expected to win the Mountain West. And I think that we'll go back at the end of the season and like anybody who does any kind of game grades, like, there's a lot of different data services that'll just grade the game based on your performances. I bet that game grade will be an outlier, or if not an outlier, at least one of the worst for Boise State.
I mean, Maddox Madsen is going to have to show people he could beat them without 8 men in the box.
The chat the tailgate's pointing out that Army did lose, right?
They did, but
there's a lot of decent teams in the American that I feel like
Navy kicked VMI's ass.
Yeah, and I would also say, like, when it comes to service academies, like, just because Army was good last year, you can't assume they're still going to be good this year, especially when they lose their quarterback. Because, like, Bryson Daly was so big of a part of what they do that if you are Army or Navy and it's any one year in your rotation where you don't really have a good quarterback, it can go south very fast.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Duke started slow and then crushed Elon.
Darian Mensah took a little while to heat up, and then all of a sudden it was go time.
Did you hate what you saw from Minnesota? Because I felt like there were some good things. I thought the quarterback made some nice throws. And Buffalo's probably your non-Toledo favorite in the MAC. And it's like they bring back a lot. It's like that's a team that came ready to play, and they're well coached.
Lindsey seems more comfortable with downfield throws than he did with the shorter and intermediate stuff. So, I mean, I think it can work if they just lean heavily on their ground game, which I don't think was great against Buffalo, and then go like deep shots off of play action. I think they could be effective enough offensively. So yeah, I don't feel super high on them based on what I saw, but I do think they can make it work.
Was it a 9-minute drive to close the game? What was that?
Yeah,
something bananas. I was like, oh my gosh.
PJ dropped anchor.
Yeah, Minnesota
like
really
Barry Alvarez style.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of, oh my gosh, R.I.P. Wisconsin. Oh God. Oh my gosh. What are we gonna do? Like, hey, how many nice things did Luke Fickell have to say about Billy Edwards? And that man did not last 4 quarters.
But they said the MRI came back like not serious.
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't expect him to miss too much time, but who knows?
Who do they play coming up?
Well, Alabama in a couple weeks.
But they've got some let me double check here. Like they've probably only got to play 4 other playoff teams before then. No, they get to play Middle Tennessee next week, and Middle Tennessee lost to Austin Peay. So
and not close, by the way.
Yeah.
Like Austin Peay.
So Alabama's 2 weeks from now. So if Billy Edwards, as long as it's nothing drastic, he can at least he could probably take next week off, and Wisconsin will be just fine. But you'd like him to get reps in the offense when you're going on the road to play Alabama. But hey, Alabama sucks now, so who cares?
Tarleton was doing its Conference USA audition tape, trying to get the call up for the real world.
Hiking the skirt up a little bit. It's like, hey,
my name's Tarleton State. I'm 19. I'm like really into music, trying to figure out a way to get into that. Get into
just
CUSA.
like to go with the flow,
Yeah. My friends say that I'm a little bit quirky.
Pop the blue. Yeah. All right. How much I watched like too much of Kennesaw and Wake.
Why?
Because I thought like I had some Kennesaw money line. Like we talked.
Oh, they had a shot.
Yeah, we did talk about it. Yeah,
beat them. Like I don't think Wake is like any good. Yeah, that was Wake's best player, Claiborne, went out like early in the game, like the first quarter. So that's a huge deal.
Would they say rib? I'll pull it up, but it potentially could be a thing. I think like it is something for us to be able to circle back on as it pertains to things involving the Demon Deacons. Not a lot of excitement from the people that I talked to that were in the building. It was a little bit disappointing from what I heard.
I was very wrong on Charlotte maybe rising up and beating App. App beat that ass. I mean, like the scoreboard was not as close. Like they handled them. Childs does not appear to have taken. I'm just running down the list here. Like, did you guys watch App Charlotte?
No.
Okay. Charlotte they did not look ready. Like it's going to take a minute if it ever happens. I'm a little concerned. Childs does not appear to have taken a leap at all for Michigan State.
Yeah, the only part of Michigan State that looked improved to me was the offensive line.
Yeah.
They were moving people again. They looked like the Oregon State team from Jonathan Smith that got him the Michigan State job. So they're going to be leaning on their run game.
I don't have I'm not going to overreact to the scoreboard, but we obviously have a development from Sam Horn's going to play a little bit. Bo Pribula is going to play a little bit. Nope. Now it's Bo Pribula's job now. So how do we
he looked really good in that game.
But it was Central Arkansas.
It was, but it's better than looking bad.
Fair. Absolutely fair.
Malik Murphy is he's going to cost me this under like by himself. Just like late over the middle a lot. Nice,
is he getting picked off and run the other way?
2-yard touchdown drive for Cal. after they had a pick six called back. So
Let's go ACC.
Can we just run? Can we just kneel this out? Come on, we're safe.
Is the ACC
Oh, I thought you were
back?
talking about the Cover 3 podcast. Can we just kneel this out?
I mean, at this point, we need.
Oh, Mikey has to go to bed.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
I have no other notes. Tom, is there anything we need to know about Illinois?
They're better than Western Illinois.
Okay.
Quite significantly. They returned a punt for a touchdown for like the first time in 12 years. So that was cool. There was absolutely nothing to take away from that game. Everybody looked great because they were playing Western Illinois.
How much better about your game against Indiana do you feel after watching Indiana struggle with Old Dominion?
I think Indiana
little.
played better than the scoreboard showed.
Yeah.
But and that's one of those,
I did not watch that. So
but why could you not convert type stuff? Sometimes you've got to draw those two things together. Like on one hand, you want to be able to isolate things on a down-to-down basis and say, well, if we played this game again, then score could have been different. But this is the real world, and if you still need to get some stuff together, especially with the roster with so many new pieces on it, and it's like, okay, this is a team that needs to get better. So,
Do you know why they couldn't convert, Chip?
Tell me.
Because Fernando Mendoza is not as good as Curtis Rourke. He's just not.
Listen, I'm not going to push back on that.
I know what the mock drafts say. I get the NFL projections, but in the college level, Curtis Rourke was a better player coming in last year. He was like 45 years old with like 1,000 games of experience. Fernando Mendoza is not there yet. He has highs, but he's also got a lot of lows.
That's fair.
Yeah. Yep. All right. We listen, as Bud mentioned, we've got a lot to continue to work on filling out our notebook, and that's why we've got Mondays upon further review. So we will be back 11 a.m. Eastern time here at youtube.com/cover3. Come and hang out, jump in the tailgate, and make sure that you let us know what else we need to do. We'll be recapping some of this late night action as well. Full grades for new Heisman Trophy candidate Devin Dampierre and so much more. And you can follow him on Twitter at Tom Fornelli. You can follow him at Bud Elliott 3. You can follow me at Chip_Patterson. Gentlemen, whoa. Not yet.
Huh?
Not yet. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much to Curtis, who really just saved me from getting in trouble. Okay. So can we a quick thank you to Curtis? All right. We're gonna do a quick reset. We're gonna do it at 3, 2. And now let's take some time to look at the new AP Top 25. Obviously, a lot that's left to play. We've still got ranked teams in action like South Carolina. We've still got the top 10 matchup between Miami and Notre Dame. I don't expect TCU or North Carolina to be in the top 25, but with all the results from Saturday, including multiple top 10 teams losing, there's going to be some adjustment. This actually is going to be a fun conversation as we spin this thing forward. Do you think that Penn State or Ohio State will be the number one team in the country? And I want to be very clear here, not who would you put or who deserves to be, but in the AP Top 25 poll, who do you think will be the number one team in the country?
Every single AP voter watched Ohio State beat Texas. None of them watched Penn State beat Nevada. It'll be Ohio State.
I would expect Ohio State to be the number one team in the country.
My thought exactly, because 25 people thought Texas was the best team in the country. 11 people thought that Ohio State was the best team in the country. So when those 25 voters who had Texas as the best team in the country have to decide where they're going to split up their votes, my prediction is that more of them will hand it to the team that just beat Texas, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Now, whether that's fair or not to Penn State, that's not what this activity is about. What would you do now? That's part 2. What would you do?
I would put Ohio State at number 1. I already had Ohio State ahead of Penn State to begin with.
Same.
Okay. Buckeyes. Potentially
not
taking
by like some massive margin, but like I had them ahead. They beat Texas.
Miles ahead. Miles. Just Penn State can't even see Ohio State in my ballot.
I've got again, because there's still some pieces that need to be settled to sort in the exact spots in the top 25. We don't have specific numbers on this. My expectation is that Florida State will land somewhere in the mid-teens. Does that sound right?
Will they be ahead of the team that they just beat by 2 scores? Despite being...
I think Alabama's at 20.
Yeah, no, they could slide pretty far, but it's like it would be funny as hell though if like Alabama checks in at 14 and Florida State debuts at 15.
So Florida State, interestingly enough, was on enough ballots to be 40th in the AP voting. So they are on someone's ballot already as a top 25 team. So there should be enough momentum to be able to get them up. What I was doing is I was looking at the tiers of the voting points to kind of figure out where the gaps are. And that's where I kind of had them landing somewhere in that mid-teens range. Again, more to be sorted out along the way. Do you think that Clemson falls outside the top 10?
No,
I think they fall to about 10.
About 10. That sounds about right.
I just feel like when people are filling out their ballots, they're going to fill out the 9 teams at 1 that are 1-0, and then they're like, "Who should I put it to?" Oh, that's where I could put Clemson. That fits.
Yeah. That's 100% the sorting method in the first 3 to 4 weeks of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Does Texas fall below? Which end? Like, where does Texas fall?
5th or 6th?
Yeah,
like Oregon?
Yeah, Oregon's where I've got that. Like that's kind of where the debate is. They could, but that's definitely the range. I doubt they will be. I doubt they will be more than like 2 spots separated from that range.
Some teams who I think, after watching them, should be ranked. Utah should be ranked. Like they were only 1 spot or 2 spots, depending on which poll. In the AP, they were 2 spots out.
And we were getting Kansas State out the paint, so that's that's an easy spot that's opening up.
Kansas State's out the paint. Boise will drop out.
Boise's out of the paint.
Utah should go. Utah should be in the teens. That's crazy to me. But BYU got more votes than Utah in the preseason top 25.
But that was close. I mean, what are they, like 26, 27, 28? They're all there in the same spot.
They had 12 more points, but it's based on nothing but BYU having a better record last year. That's all that was.
South Florida will have an argument. We'll see if they make the cut.
Yeah, I mean, they'll definitely show up on the bottom of a lot of ballots. Whether it'll be enough to get in, I don't know if
they'll have enough consensus to be able to get it across. But yeah, I think that Florida State breaking in is the no-brainer, and then you start to get to Utah and a few other teams that could also be making an appearance.
USC put up 1,000 points. They might sneak in.
That was one of my only. That was one of my few splash wins in our contest.
Good for you.
Yeah. That's it. Look at what USC does when they've got an overwhelming advantage. You want to talk about a narrative that, hey, last year they did a drip check because they were showing off their fits. This year they get off the bus and they're all wearing the same thing. This is a team. Things are changing, boys.
Again with the damn bus.
Yeah, but they're not filming the inside of the bus.
Yeah,
this a loop around the Coliseum.
Yeah, USC.
Well, I mean, to be fair, doing a loop around anything in LA will take you at least an hour and a half.
That's true. They can't. They don't even have the time for that.
Like trying to get your rental car back to LAX and catch the shuttle. It's like,
yeah, you got to.
That's not that bad. The trying to get the shuttle to the rental car to LAX is a nightmare.
Other than that, what you'll see is a lot of movement sort of within the top 25. Iowa State, I think, will be moving up just because they got the win against Kansas State. They were at number 22 before. I think that they'll be moving up. Alabama, as we mentioned, will be moving down. Texas, very, very slight step back. So with so many games against FCS opponents or lower tier opponents, the movements will be minimal, though, because top 10 teams were involved. They will be the conversation pieces. And again, Miami, Notre Dame impacts a lot of this. South Carolina, Virginia Tech also a part of this. So tomorrow's top 25 today will be posting on Monday night on CBSSports.com when we'll actually put some numbers to the names. All right. Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Come and hang out at youtube.com/cover3. Very big thank you to Curtis. And you can follow him on Twitter at Tom Fornelli. You can follow him at Bud Elliott 3. You follow me at Chip_Patterson. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Good night.
See y'all.